It's time for Out and About with Jamie Grout. Thank you for joining me on my podcast. I'll be talking with Melissa Dalton, who is on the Newton City Council. She is running unopposed. In fact, all the folks running for city council and for mayor are running unopposed, and we had a nice conversation with her on Friday, and we'll talk about why she wants to be on the Newton City Council once again, and the problems facing the city of Newton, and her prospects for the future for the city of Newton in just a couple of moments. But first of all, our word from our sponsors, including Newton Clinic. Preventative care means more than just a yearly checkup. It's how we catch small issues before they become big problems. From screenings to vaccines to wellness visits, Newton Clinic is here to keep you and your family feeling your best. Schedule your preventative care appointments today. Your future self will thank you for it at Newton Clinic. Catch small issues before they become huge problems at Newton Clinic. Give them a call or check them out at newtonclinic.com, newtonclinic.com. And Ryan's Tire and Auto on First Avenue in Newton. You know, they posted on Facebook. They want to take a moment to say thank you to their Ryan's Tire and Auto family and community during the loss of the father, the patriarch of the family in the past week. They've been absolutely blown away by the kindness, love, and support shown to them and their family, and especially to Ryan and his sister Amy. From the heartfelt comments to the stories shared in person, every word and memory has meant so much. Their family read each and every message, and they're deeply touched by the outpouring of care. In honor of their father, Andy, their family is proud to make a donation of over $2,300 to the Newton FFA, an organization that was close to his heart. They're truly grateful for this incredible community, and they want to say thank you for wrapping them in so much support during this difficult time. From Ryan's Tire and Auto on First Avenue, Newton. The Out and About with Jamie Grout podcast also sponsored by Advantage Credit Union.
Are you feeling financially drained? Tired of high interest rates and endless debt? Fear not, your financial superhero has arrived. Advantage Credit Union is here to rescue you from financial distress. With our powerful loan refinancing options, you could lower your monthly payments, shorten your loan term, and free up cash for a brighter future. Unleash your financial superpower today. Call us at 641-792-5660 or apply online at acuiowa.org.
Subject to credit approval, terms and conditions may apply. See credit union for details. Federally insured by NCUA.
It's time for an Out and About with Jamie Grout podcast, and with me is Melissa Dalton, who is running unopposed for Newton City Council. What area do you represent, Melissa?
Ward 2.
Okay. So you have served, one term on the City Council now?
Yep, just finishing up my first term.
And what made you want to be on the City Council to begin with?
Oh, geez. I guess the biggest thing is realizing that my family and I are going to be in this community for the long haul and wanting to make the best of it.
And how so?
Well, after Maytag left, I felt there was a lot of bad taste in people's mouth, maybe to say. And you just kept hearing how bad Newton is and how things have gone downhill. And somebody would bring up Newton outside of this area, and you just really didn't hear a whole lot of good things. And I guess my biggest part was I wanted to try and change that, because we have so many good things in this town, and I just think people don't realize that.
For those who don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself, Melissa.
I originally grew up in Brooklyn, Iowa, which is not too far from here.
Sure.
I moved to Newton in 2005. I have 5 children who have been or are still in the Newton Community School District. My husband and I own 2 businesses in Newton. A lawnmower sales and repair shop, and we also sell farm toys with Dalton's Farm Toys.
Well, you've heard my podcast with Randy.
Yes.
Who I call Irv. We go way back, and I talked about that openly in our podcast. We were in high school drama together. He was 2 years behind me in school. We worked at the same radio station together, but the city council's facing some hard questions this time around. And one of which is the dilapidated building in downtown Newton that has not been fixed, and it went through destruction during the derecho. And I don't know what is going on with that. Everybody's wondering, and it has become a big eyesore in downtown Newton. And there are some problems there. And so I guess a lot of people wondering, since you're on the city council, what are your views on that? How would you address that? What do you think about that, Melissa?
I'll start out saying that I don't think any of us could have foreseen where this journey with that building has taken us, and the amount of time and effort and money, frankly, that has been put towards it and trying to get it taken care of. I'll start out saying, looking back, I would probably make the same decision that I made the first time around, that being it's not a city problem to take care of that building. There was an insurance payout that was received by the owner of the building, and frankly, he should have just taken care of it. The fact that we had to get the courts involved has been disappointing, to say the least, but that's pretty much where the issues have lied since we've had a ruling. We've had a ruling for 2 years now. I think I did see this week that there was some activity going on up there, so hopefully that's good news. There were some generators and some work trucks. I saw a lift up there. I haven't been there the last couple of days to see if any progress has happened, nor have I heard. We had great community involvement in getting signatures for a petition, a letter from the county also supporting our efforts. And hopefully, if we do end up back in court, that'll show the judge that we really need to get something done and have it be taken care of.
Have you seen Jay Coonan's post on Facebook? His property abuts up against this property.
A current post on Facebook?
Yes.
I have not.
Okay, this is not a gotcha question, but I'm going to read it to you.
Sure.
Okay. I am done being silent on this subject, and it's time for the truth to be told. There are many details I could share, but I will just start with this. On September 22nd, 2025, Ryan from DeCarlo Demolition told me that they plan to start separating the Chedesters' derecho damaged building this week and then take it down next week. While this has been a long time coming, I'm disappointed in how both the City of Newton and Mr. Jeremy Chedester have handled this situation. Neither party has lived up to their side of the settlement agreement. The settlement agreement requires Mr. Chedester's demolition contractor to submit a complete demolition permit application and demolition plan, including a plan for handling the shared wall by November 2nd, 2023. To this day, no such plan for handling the shared wall has been provided. Instead of ensuring compliance, Mr. Chedester's lawyer has argued in court that his responsibility for the shared wall could be surrendered per Iowa code, and I'm not going to read that part, leaving adjoining property owners to bear the cost of sealing and weatherproofing their newly exposed wall. Meanwhile, the city's attorney sat silent. Independent professional engineering firms, one hired by an interested party and one hired by Mr. Chedester, both reached the same conclusion. A shoring wall should be built on the adjoining property. This would ensure minimal damage to adjoining buildings and provide the safest method for demolition, both for the contractors and the public. Despite this, the City of Newton failed to enforce its own code, which clearly states adjoining public and private property shall be protected from damage during demolition work. The city even issued a demolition permit without this being enforced. There have been many more disappointments throughout this 5-year process, but I'll end my remarks here for today. Your response?
I would have to look into it. What I was told is there were 2 different plans submitted by the company that would assure the shoring of Dr. Conan's wall. Other than that, I guess I would have to look into what he's saying.
Okay. All right. So is there anything else the city can do about this building, or is it out of the city's hands at this point?
At this point, we're waiting on the judges to make them do something.
Okay.
Which is what we have been doing.
Okay. On to the next tough question. And I talked to Randy about this also, and I'll talk to Jeff Holshoe about this also, and Amy, the other person running for city council. And that is, that the city's facing a lawsuit now. And I don't know how much you can address on this, Melissa, but and you know what I'm talking about here. It's with a young man that was charged with being under the possession of or the influence of drugs, and he was not. Did the Newton Police Department overstep its bounds? And if that was the case, should Chief Burdess be fired or disciplined for that?
You know, I think we all have the great power of hindsight right now and looking at what was done and what maybe some of us would do different, being in both positions, being in the person who was pulled over and or the cops that pulled him over. My stand on it right now is, were some mistakes made possibly by both sides? Yes, they're working those out in court. Legally, I don't think that there were legal mistakes made. I wasn't in the cop's position. I didn't have to be the one to pull him over. I didn't have to be the one to make the choice of making the decision to arrest him. So I hate to speculate in what was going through that cop's head. They do their best to keep our city safe, and hopefully they continue to do that.
So let's spin this around and try to be positive here on this interview and talk about the things that you're most proud of in terms of the city in your past 4 years of being on the city council.
Oh gosh, I guess I have the great fortune of coming in when many people before me have already started the ball rolling on a lot of these great things. We have a lot of good things going on. You know, one of the biggest things I think I worked on through my last 4 years, which doesn't make some people happy, but is the vacant building policy. I think that's a great step in a good direction for getting our buildings full, knowing very, very well that I have an empty building in the downtown myself. Have been working on that. Things like the rail park. I think that is just going to be phenomenal for our town and our county. We have the softball complex. I know that had a lot of setbacks because of COVID.
And can I jump in right here? What is the status of that right now?
As far as I know, it's still moving forward. I know the two people that have been working on this from the beginning have a lot of their own resources that have been put in this, and I don't think they're willing to give that up. So again, I know it's been a long time coming, but hopefully we'll have some good things coming in the next few months or so.
And let's expound on the rail parks. That looks very promising for the future too. Maybe you could talk a little bit more about that.
Right. So working with the railroad, the county, the city, a lot with Alliant Energy, and it also is just more of an industrial area, looking for industries that will use rail, that will be a good fit for that area, be a good fit for our area. We're working on getting the site certified, the railroad is. Hopefully that'll be done within the month. And then they're going to start working really hard on marketing that area.
All right. Other than that, how do you see potential growth for the city of Newton for the next few years? Because Newton does need to grow, and I know that it's trying to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the biggest things that the council has worked on over the past few years, along with staff, along with a lot of different people. Newton Housing Development, works daily on that issue. We have the highest number of builders in the town now than we've had for as long as I've been around here, and as long as a lot of people who have been talking to me about it have been around here. I think we're up to 8 or 10, the last count. So that's really positive. We have one person that came in and did a round of 5 and is getting ready to do another round of 5 once these first batch of houses sell for them. Looks super positive for Newton.
Mm-hmm. I don't know whether you want to call it a tax rebate or whatever that thing is. And you can describe it probably better than I can because I don't know anything much about the $10,000, but it's kind of a thing that people get back in a way if they build a new house in Newton. Maybe you can expound on that a little bit.
Yeah, simply put, it's $10,000 that goes into the pocket of the person who buys the house.
Is that in buying a house or is that in building a house?
Building. It's a new build. It's a new construction home. Whether it's a spec house that a builder has built, it's whoever that first homeowner that's going to live in the house will get it. There's been talk in the past few years about possibly going to some other tactics, but we keep hearing that's one incentive that a lot of these people have loved being able to utilize and was one of the deciding factors of buying a house in Newton. So I think right now it's going to stay and hopefully it'll attract more people.
So is Newton leaning toward being more of a bedroom community, or are we leaning toward having more industrial forces here in Newton? Because it's kind of in a place where we're in between.
I think we can be both. I don't think we have to pick one or the other. With the relative closeness of Des Moines and all the industries there, with the great things that are coming here, the great things that we already have, Newton has its own identity, but is close enough to Des Moines that people utilize that also.
Well, and that leads me to my next question. When you talk to other people about good old Newton, Iowa, 50208, what do you tell them about the positive aspects about living in Newton, Melissa?
One, we're not Des Moines. When I was looking at where we were going to locate our family, I picked Newton because it wasn't Des Moines. I looked at Bondurant, I looked at Altoona, I looked at Ankeny, and Newton has its own identity. Newton is a community that has a ton of great things, great park system, great attributes, a lot of jobs, but yet the closeness of Des Moines to get just maybe the little extra that we don't have. But you don't have to live in Des Moines to enjoy that. You can live in Newton and enjoy the great things that we have here and not have to be in the hustle and bustle of all of that.
What's your take on our school system?
I think we're working in the right direction. We've made some moves, and I have to say, thankfully, I don't have to make those decisions, not being on the school board.
Would you want to be on our school board?
I can't say that I wouldn't, but man, they have some tough decisions to make in the last few years, and I don't envy them for those.
Yeah. Well, you have some tough decisions on the city council also.
Right,
so.
right.
Anything you want to conclude with before we wrap this podcast up?
No, I think Newton is headed in the right direction. We have a lot of dominoes in place, just getting ready to make them all fall into place. So Newton's a great place to live, and hopefully we can get the word out and we'll attract more people in the future.
Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Our interview guest has been Melissa Dalton, who is going to be on the city council again for another 4 years?
Yes.
Okay. Running unopposed in the election coming up in November. That's going to wrap it up for this edition of Out and About with Jamie Grout. This podcast also sponsored by Jersey Freeze in Monroe. Try the Van and Bon Bon Freezer. They also give away prizes on Sunday when we do Out and About with Jamie Grout podcast trivia. Lynette Baker, Halo Branded Solutions, Westside Java Coffee Bar, and Maid Ride, always open for breakfast 7 days a week at Maid Ride in Newton. Until next time, out is out. See ya.